My name is Tim Severkles, and I'm the computer lab coordinator for Art Heart Community Art Center, and we've been here for over 16 years. We originally were called Home for Creative Opportunity, but we've changed our name to Art Heart when we moved into our new space here. Well, when I first heard the news of the redevelopment, I was quite excited, and although was somewhat pessimistic as to what would actually happen, and my fears have proven to be true. It started off as redevelopment, but now it seems to be something quite different is happening. Well, the positive ramifications are going to be that people that are on fixed incomes and limited incomes will be able to live together with people that do have decent incomes, and you have mixed housing, which I think works really, really well. You don't have concentrated poverty like was here in the past. I think the negative consequences are that the amount of affordable housing in the area is actually going to drop. And that was not originally agreed to for the redevelopment, but now that's what's happening.
Well, it seems sort of a mixed bag, really. I mean, yes, the latest numbers show that there's not going to be nearly as many affordable units, and I think it could lead to that creeping thing known as gentrification. There is really a sense of community here. There's strong bonds. And I'd like to see that. I'd like to see those remain, and I don't want to see people sort of shunted out of here.
Well, I thought it was a good idea, and that it needs to be developed because the land is very valuable, and the buildings are probably outlived their life expectancy, and there needs to be change. One way what may happen is it just moves the sort of the drug dealing or the undesirable stuff. It moves it to other locations in the city, and this part of the city improves and cleans up.
Well, I thought it was a long time overdue. It's become a very bad place to live because it was almost like a market for drugs, and I think that the people that were living there were really feeling very depressed, having to live in those kind of conditions. And it just wasn't a plan that worked. Putting a lot of people with low incomes and living in poverty all in the same area, not having too much way of mentoring or life skills training and to be able to exist.
I thought it was a very good idea to have it done, and that's about it. Especially for this district, it'll be a very good development. They haven't been deceitful in any other way.
I think that in theory it's a good idea, but I think from the information that I've gathered recently, it's not such a good plan that's being initiated. When we first heard about the redevelopment, we were told the plans were going to include a mixture of rent geared to income and market value housing, and that it was going to maintain the amount of rent geared to income in the neighborhood, and they were going to then add on top of that the market value. And as the plans have changed and evolved, it appears that there is now only going to be 30% rent geared to income homes, which is drastically down from what it was supposed to be. So when you're speaking about the impact that this might have on us, one of the reasons that we're in this location right now is because we decided to move 3 years ago. We rented out of the basement of a church a few blocks over, and we did some investigation to find out which buildings weren't going to be demolished, and this church that we rent out of the basement of is the only building in Regent Park that's not going to be torn down. There are a lot of other community organizations running out of some of the buildings in Regent Park, and At the beginning of the talks of redevelopment, we were told that there was going to be a really great big community center. I don't think it ever made it onto the plans, and from what I've heard from community meetings, as of yet, it's still not on the plans. So a lot of community organizations that really benefit this neighborhood are, as far as I know, are going to be homeless.
It'll be a beautiful park in behind us and beautiful buildings above us, and it'll be good for business, for the community, and that's about all I can say.
Very hot topic indeed.
About our next story, you're familiar with the expression, don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah, of course, who isn't?
Well, our next story is actually about bed bugs.
Okay.
Well, you know bugs in a bed?
Yeah.
Not a fan of bugs, are you?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay, well, that's what you get for making fun of my rapping.
What?
I don't know, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Here's Kyle Lennon with a story about his wonderful little bed bugs.
They hide in cracks. They like clutter, and they're Toronto's best kept secret. Bed bugs. Two students described their experience.
Well, the problem was at the start was I was getting bitten, and I was really concerned about that. And so I went to the doctor and everything, didn't know what it was. And then as soon as I figured out what it was on the weekend. So I called my mom, and she decided to write a letter to the building. Well, first they yelled at us for not knowing that we had a problem, that there was actually bugs there. And then they went forth to schedule fumigations without talking to us about what time would be best for us, especially since it was nearing the end of the semester. So they did that three times. Yeah. I had bumps in between my fingers and on my arm, and I just thought maybe it was stress. And then I talked to my dad about it, and we concluded that it must be stress and whatever, school just starting and everything. And then I just kept getting more and more and more, and I couldn't take it anymore. I had 3 prescriptions of creams. I don't even know what it's supposed to do to your skin.
I had to pack up all my stuff, and I happen to have a lot of stuff. So it would take a full day of taking all my stuff out, and that's a full day of me not doing homework or studying for my exams. Mm-hmm. And then having to put it back and do my laundry and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it costs a lot of money to buy new bed, new wardrobe, freezer, everything for a new apartment.
People think it's because you have a dirty living area, but it's not. So, and most people don't even think there's such thing as bed bugs. They just thought it was night night, don't let the bed bugs bite. Mm-hmm. They're these little a little bit smaller than your pinky nail, and they're circular, really flat. That's why they can hide behind things so easily, because they just slide in between things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're red, and they're really red when they've obviously eaten. They inject you with some sort of saliva. Their saliva or whatever that makes you not feel it, and then with the other part they suck out the blood.
The building refused to comment.